Stafford Sr. I am at present the Deputy Grand Master of the Most Worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge for the state of Illinois. My lodge is Wayfarers Lodge number 128, where I am a past master of.
All right, good. I too am a past master of that wonderful lodge, Wayfarers 128, located right there in Chicago, Illinois. We are Most Worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge. I guess my first question would be, what inspired you to become a member of the lodge? What inspired you to become a Mason?
Well, I think the first thing that caught my attention was my brother was a member of Plumline Lodge number 116 in Prince Hall. And he wanted to bring me in there. He took me to one of their cookouts. And for some reason, like happens with all family, some things didn't go the way he liked. And he had told me, well, we're going to find another lodge for you. Unbeknownst to him, I was already Prince Hall Mason because I actually joined Prince Hall Military Lodge in Baumholder, Germany, number 144 in 1977. But like a lot of us that's in military lodge and a lot of brothers that was in my first lodge when we came over, we come back from the military, we don't know what no Prince Hall lodges are. So for some reason we're taught that we don't speak to nobody who's not Prince Hall or anything like that. So when another, as they say, irregular lodge come and give you petition, you want to keep your Masonic, auxiliary going, then you take that petition just to say that you're still a Mason. But one of our brothers, one of our past masters did the research, and he said, you know what, this is not a Prince Hall Grand Lodge we're in. So we immediately sought out, saw another lodge come on to the Prince Hall Grand Lodge, Illinois, and they told us about it, and then we came there. From there, my ambitions just grew because with all the knowledge I felt like I had in me, all the masonry I had learned over the years, I felt like I could share that. And I actually met a brother that I worked with, Brother Morris Hunt, out of Olive Branch in 94. And he told me, he said, Brother Stafford, you need to come over to Prince Hall with all that knowledge because you're teaching some stuff that we're not getting over there. And there it was. I was born in again, reborn back to Prince Hall, but only in my own state where my own home was. And charity starts at home, so my knowledge should go to my home before it be spread abroad.
That's right. We definitely appreciate the vast knowledge that you bring to Wayfarers Lodge 128. Even have been a past master myself for almost 20 years. Every time we come to lodge meeting and you talk to us, I learn something new. And that's the beauty of a progressive science, that we can always learn. No matter how high up on the quote unquote high up on the totem pole we are, we can always learn.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, once you're, let's say, in the lodge, you're back to Prince Hall, you're doing the work. What inspired you to become a worshipful master? What inspired you to take that leadership role within the lodge?
Actually, that was not something I was on my ambition pole.
Okay.
I just was happy with just being a good Mason, learning the work, and teaching it to other brothers. And I guess that encompassed in the mindset of other brothers in the lodge. We need to do something with this brother. It seems like it's just wasting there. Right. And so I'm one of the few brothers that sat in every position in the lodge before I went to the East. So I progressed all the way from junior steward all the way up to worship master, not missing a seat. Secretary, treasurer, as you know yourself, usually that's a past master's position, when they come out, but I actually did it before I went to the East. So I actually went up the steps, and I think that's what helped me to acquire the knowledge that I have by not jumping from A to Z, but actually going A, B, C, D, E, F all the way to the top.
And that's something that sometimes it becomes missed. Sometimes it's just because of the amount of people that we have in our lodge to work with. We would love to have young brothers who have that fervency and zeal and want to go to each station. But when the numbers aren't exactly where they used to be, like when we first came in, you have to utilize who you have.
Absolutely.
And the beautiful thing is that you were able to get all of those stations. Oh my God! So it's like each year. What I see within lodge is that if you come to lodge and you pay attention, you get to learn everything. And the more you come to lodge, the more you hear it, the more it becomes a part of your daily walk. It becomes a part of your of course your Masonic walk. And just to have gone through 5, 6, 7, 8 different stations, by the time you got up there to the east, you were ready, and that's a good thing. So in that, in as far as, let's say you got there to the east, and we have something called a trestle board where you lay out your plans and everything. What strategies have been crucial to the success of your organization, whether it had been the lodge you came from before or at Wayfarers? What were some of the things that you did or you felt you did to kind of assist the lodge? Just your basic stuff. What was some things that was true to your heart and you was able to bring it to the lodge and you nodded your head like, okay, they got it?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because that's one of the most difficult things is to get an unpopular plan across. Something that you've seen a vision for in the long run that everybody else hasn't seen yet.
That's right.
And you start off with the naysayers, you know. Then you really find out if you're a Mason because you have to show yourself and prove to yourself before you prove to anybody else that you had a wherewithal to push it through.
Right.
Without giving up, you know. Even if you had to go back and make a different plan to start over. Right. One thing I was always taught, the past Grandmaster taught me this, a recent past Grandmaster, but I had it before from family members, but he reiterated in my mind. If you're going to bring a plan, the idea, bring a plan with it to get it done. And that was our mind saying was past Grandmaster Roland G. Simon.
Yes.
He told all this line, I don't care bring the idea, but bring a plan to go with it so it can get done. Otherwise, you're just going to sit still on the shelf. Right. It's going to be one of those albums that never sold. You know, it's going to be a memory. So with my lodge, I first let brothers work into my plan without knowing that was my plan.
Okay.
So we just did it. And they was like, man, this is all right. Yeah, so this is what I got planned. How long you been thinking about this? Oh, I've been thinking about this for a while. Right. You can't always get everything done if you don't have the right person there.
That's right.
Sad to say, you got to have the right person. Somebody going to be as motivated as you are to do it and don't be 100% with it.
Yeah.
We know the old saying that I always said, fail to plan.
Right? Plan to fail. That's right.
Fail.
Yep. Okay. I know a few years ago I was at I believe it was a mid-year session in Illinois, and we had a past master, bless his soul, past master Charles Cooper Sr., just a great brother in our lodge. Loved his lodge. Oh my goodness. Past master Cooper, he was hard on us, but it was out of love because he wanted us to be the best at what we were in, you know. And once we got there, he doted on us. He told everybody, that's one of my brothers from my lodge, you know, and it made you feel good. Well, he had passed, and you had put together, if I'm not mistaken, we were talking about doing a burial or formation of the burial service. Talk to me a little bit about that, the inspiration behind that, and, you know, being able to convey that to, it wasn't just our lodge, it was an entire Prince Hall Grand Lodge, Illinois. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, the ironic thing about that is, when our lodge came over to Prince Hall, Brother Charles Cooper stayed on me about Brother Stafford learn the burial ceremony. Learn the burial ceremony. He already knew I knew the degree work and all of that.
Right.
Burial ceremony wasn't even something I heard of.
Okay.
You know, so he told me learn the burial. And the ironic thing about it, what let me know that was God talking through him, was we had a brother that passed right after we came over there. And Brother Cooper said, Brother Stafford, you're going to do this ceremony. Okay. It was only maybe 2 months we've been over there, but I had been looking at that ceremony every day because he was steady on me. Learn the burial ceremony. And I was able to do it and get through it and didn't have to ask nobody else for no help for our lodge. We was able to do it ourselves. Now, of course, he was like that, but he was there to make sure it goes smoothly.
Right.
But he was also proud to come back. It was a deputies meeting that day. He was proud to come back to the deputies meeting and say, Brother Stafford buried his own. He did the whole ceremony by himself. Yeah. And it dawned on me then how important it is when God is talking through somebody else's voices, because he know the future, we don't. Mm-hmm. He knew that he was going to call that brother home.
Right.
And he instructed Brother Cooper to have me prepared to be able to give that brother his rights, because that's something that everybody's on equal ground on.
Right.
Assigning rights, okay? I don't care if I was a deputy grand master, you was a past master, that brother was a regular member. Mm-hmm. When it comes down to Masonic rights, we getting the same thing.
That's right.
So ain't no big I ask no small you, which is what makes us all about anyway, being on the level.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you did the for the Grand Lodge, now was that a class that we had at that particular mid-year session, or you were just showing them? Because I don't know if it was some things that were added or something that you did.
Talking about something that was most recent, that might have been a memorial.
Memorial, that's right. I'm sorry. You're right.
I wrote because I was thinking we had something for burial, we had something for cremation.
Right.
I even wrote a headstone ceremony. Well, not me, but the team wrote a headstone ceremony at the request of past Grand Master Melvin Frierson.
Okay.
And I said, well, I don't see nothing for a memorial.
Exactly.
So if we don't have no ashes for a cremation, we don't have nobody, we can't do nothing for them.
Right.
So I got with my partner that you all know, Leo Wimley. We always work together.
Okay.
I said, I'm going to see if I can write a memorial service. Mm-hmm. And we did that. We got a team together. And the first time we did it, and it was you who said, I got to see my past master have a memorial service.
Yes.
Now, the very first time we did it for him.
Okay.
And since it was so brand new, nobody knew the parts by heart at the time.
Right.
But we always said you can't learn it by heart, learn to read well. And they read it so well, it was like it was being done by heart. 2 months later, we actually did an actual memorial service for past Master Wings out of John Jones Lodge number 7.
Okay.
So Brother Cooper got the first one, and he got the first official one.
All right.
And now it's part of a class, where they have a burial class down there.
Yes.
And that team came to me and said, hey, we want to incorporate that memorial service to the class. So we'll be down there shortly how to do that.
Well, I must say that I was taken aback. That memorial service, my mouth was just open. It was so classy. It was so it was just something that bred pride and love for my brethren that had passed, and love for the lodge. It's something else to see somebody get their flowers. Yeah, even after they pass, but get the respect and the honor that was due to them. So that memorial service was it was on point. So we as a lodge, we appreciate you for that. We thank you for that.
Well, one last thought on that.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at our burial ceremony, we do it to comfort the family, but the burial ceremony is for the brothers. When you're around that casket doing that, you're talking to the brothers, but the memorial is for the family. So that's a service that's actually you talking to the family through the whole thing, and that's for them to encourage their loved one.
Yeah, and and that's something that's needed, because you look at uncles and daddies and granddaddies, and every whatever it is, third Friday of the month, they putting this suit on, and they getting that little satchel together, and they go into the meeting, they're coming home late, and they don't talk about it too much or this, that, and then they'll have different functions that they go to, and you go to too, and everybody has the same type of suit on, and as a little guy, it's like, wow. And then, Lord forbid they get to an age where they pass, and you see these guys, you see the reverence and how they handle their dear brother who has passed. That's astronomical. I think we a lot of people kind of take it for granted.
Yes.
But once it's seen, all it takes is for you to have a loved one in a lodge or a chapter that truly cares, and they give that ceremony the way it's supposed to be given.
Yes.
Oh my God, man, it's something else. I went off on a tangent there, but I really have, that's dear and true to my heart, because I want my kids to see it one day.
It's paramount.
It's paramount. It is. So let's turn a little bit, and we're going to stay on the subordinate lodge level, so to speak. When you were in the East, you're taking care of business and so forth and so on. How you deal with I guess you can call it membership satisfaction in your lodge. You know, like you just I know from my year, you have some guys you have to talk to some way, and other guys you have to talk to another way. You know, getting things done. How did you deal with the different personalities and things of that nature when trying to conduct your business for the lodge?
You answered part of it, and I guess being a past master, that stayed in you. As you said, some you have to deal with militant.
Yeah.
Because that's the type they is. That's what they're used to, and that's what they was taught. You know, no nonsense, and they seem to respect that more.
Yeah.
Others, they grew up in a different environment where feelings they're more emotional.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But the tricky part of putting that puzzle together is when you're in a meeting, you don't get to pull this one to the side and talk to them. You don't get to pull that one. You have to deal with all of those different personalities right now on the spot in the meeting. What made me take a different approach to that and help out was emotions. Brothers making motions, I get to see how they really feel.
Okay.
This brother's for it, this brother's not.
Okay.
I get to see how they treat each other.
Right.
I know you love you. So if you talking to you in a way that might hurt his feelings, or you talk to him in a way that might say, "Hey, I'm not your child,"
Right.
I know that's coming from the emotion of the feelings from the emotion that you're giving, and the emotion is for something for the lodge.
Right.
So you're already showing that you love the lodge.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
But you are you, and I am me. So when I see that, then after the meeting or a week later or something, then I will pull this brother to the side by himself and make him think about something that is emotion to make him think about then. So he had to come back and say, "You know what, you're right, maybe I could have played that a little bit better." Then I go to that one. Now, you know it wasn't personal. You know? Yeah, I know, but and it may start here, but you bring it from 10 down to 3 or 4.
Right.
Then once they get calm, then I can bring them together, and the brotherhood can come back. So that's how I deal with those different things. Now it is a part, and I look that just say, you know, it's up to you to keep the harmony in your life. That's what the gap was
That's
for.
what it's for.
So you can't let yourself get caught up enough till you let it go so long trying to dissolve it that it's too late. Sometimes you just have to hit the gavel, keep anybody from breaking any obligation. They just say, "Okay, we're gonna call this meeting." Everybody know why. You know, they know why you called it. Now you on stage. But I never believe in fronting nobody and making nobody look bad. That's why I'm gonna shut that meeting down, and then we're gonna talk on the side. When we come back, we're gonna have a better meeting.
Okay. You know, what are a few of the give us a few of the heights of your Masonic tenure? You know, some of the things that you've done as a Mason or was bequeathed to you as a Mason that you, just thinking about it, make you smile. You know, some of your highlights.
Tenets of Masonry. Brotherly love, relief, and truth.
Okay.
I've got to help out on each one of those frames.
Okay.
You know, brotherly love, when somebody's going through something, lose something dear to them. The relief of a brother who may be proud, has always had and never had to, or just a brother who needs his heart relief, his mind relief. That relief can go different ways. Truth to me, though, is the number one.
Okay.
Because if you are phony, a brother's going to see through that. Just like a newborn baby will see through when they say, babies don't lie, you know, out of the mouth of babes, you know. They're going to see that. So the tenets of Masonry, brotherly love, relief, and truth, I put in some of the heights of mine because I was able to achieve that on more than one occasion. It's not going to be a lot of people in the room, you know, that's going to say, or either have valid reason to say, "I hate Brother Stafford." I'm not going to say it's going to be some who don't say it, but I say valid reasons. People sometimes will just look at you and don't like you. They don't know nothing about you. It's, "I don't like that brother." You know, or jealousy, envy, you know, all the things that come up. But the one thing I always said, and I still say it today, I am not going to let you change Brother Stafford. So when you try to get in my head and push buttons and get me to yelling and cussing like you doing, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Most of the time that makes them madder because, "Oh, I get them. Because I don't really care about that. You're over there, and I'm here.
Right.
So those are some of the things I like is setting examples for brothers. You know, I had brothers who come and tell me, man, I used to like it, but I gotta say, man, you know, you're all right. But what if I was like you, or that you was my mother? You would never like me because I done proved to you. I told you he was good. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So before any studying, any rank, anything that I got out of Mason learning that is number one to me, because you got to love your brothers, and you got to, if nothing else, make it make sense.
Make it make sense. Yeah.
You know, show them that this makes sense to live this way.
Yeah. Okay. You know, with that, I guess it flows right into what do you have to say? You got a young brother who may be interested, or a young brother who's just come in. What can we do to keep the members going and flowing? What can we do to harbor interest in our fraternity? You know, what are the things? Sometimes we get to doing things in a certain way, customs and traditions, that we kind of fall off from the times, because we're in a technological age. We fall off from what the aims of the organization truly was. What can you see that we can possibly do as a lodge, a supported lodge, to keep membership going, and or to foster a relationship, you know, with those who may be interested? You know, where do you see that? I mean, you know, what can you offer in as far as the what we need to possibly be doing?
Well, the seeds for what we need to do is already there. We're just not watering them all the time. But it's already planted there, because nobody's going to just come and run without seeing something. You're going to make a brother interested. You know, I like that brother. You know, they're going to watch what you do. Like we always say, if the brothers see you partying and they want to join, they're going to join because they want to party.
That's true.
If they see you doing good work and they want to join, they want to join to do good work. We have villages all over the place. What we need to do more of, in my opinion, is turn them villages into a state.
Okay.
We have big lodges, we have small lodges.
Right.
Meaning, some lodges can do what other lodges can't.
That's
right. We are Chris Hall family, PHA. We should all be working together. So if you got an event going on over here, a charity, and you posting your event for your lodge, just you, you know, y'all getting y'all's credit. And then this small lodge over here worked to the bone. It wasn't big as yours because they didn't have many members. Like we said, we're on the same level. They just work just as hard as you.
Right.
Now, we hear the stories about people who give out their abundance and people who give all they have.
Right.
So if you got a lot, you give a lot. You still have a lot left. You have a little and you give it all, you gave it all.
Yeah.
So we can attract members by doing stuff like that. And then the good ones, because we want good men, right? To make it better. We don't want just numbers and money on anybody. We want the good men. So the good men and stuff like that they want to come in for that, we know we get some good brothers.
That's right.
We don't get brothers 300, all of that there, because we're not supposed to, because we want their money and we want to look good when we go on the Masonic procession and all of that. We want people that even their neighbors say, oh man, they got a good brother when they got him. You know, I've known him since he was a little boy. He's always, you know, helped the old people home. They're the kind of people we want. We don't know who they are because we don't know them. But somebody know them because they got to talk to one of us to bring them in.
That's right.
So we need to get more back into bringing in our friends, stuff who we know already. But back in the day, when our fathers and grandfathers didn't know anybody, and one might bring one petition in 5 years. That's right. You know, by the time they said, you ain't ready. Yeah. But they know that you scratching, kicking at the prick. So they just keep you on that end. They ain't gonna let you go, but they keep you on that end. You ain't ready yet. And you gonna work a little bit harder. Hey, I'm ready to come in. You ain't ready yet. They work a little bit harder. So by the time they do come in, they are truly ready. And that rub off to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. So anybody, all of us know more than one person. Now, it's unfortunate, and I pray for those who don't know nobody good. But I don't believe it's nobody who don't know somebody that's good.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's how we do it.
Okay. Well, I know that we are here at the Most Worshipful Grand Lodge of Michigan. They're having their session. Getting ready to start one of their events this evening. And we appreciate you taking the time out just to sit back and talk with us and give us some insight. What would be your closing remarks in as far as, where you see things going and what you would like to see happening and so forth and so on? Just a good word for our brothers.
I put it this way, short and sweet to the point everybody can understand. You just said we're in Michigan, right? Me and you from Illinois.
That's right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen all kind of grandmasters here. When I go to their states, I see all grand. So if all of these states and places can support each other, why can't our own brothers in Illinois support each other? So that's what I would love to see. Us show more love and support for our state so we can be a better part of this whole grand encampment of things to do our work that we're supposed to do to make the world a better place. We got to take care of home first. So I would love to see Illinois mature and elevate to the point that we have love for each other.
Right.
Like our mom, she was telling me, you can't say nothing nice, don't say nothing at all. Because if don't nothing go past your lips, through that ivory key, then ain't gonna get out there for nobody else to hear it.
Right.
And now it may not even be true, but now they don't like you because somebody told them something that you don't even know nothing about.
That's right.
That's what I just like to see us mature more and support each other.
Okay. Well, definitely, thank you. I appreciate you. And we look for some magnificent things, as you've done already. We look for some great things, and we support you. Wayfarers Laws 128 supports you. Truth Chapter number 125 supports you, and I support you. So if anything that you need, RMF Publishing, we support you. You just say the word, we're there, and let's make it happen.
I appreciate you, Pastor Master.
Thank you. Thank you so much, and you have been listening to RMF Publishing, and this is Testify